The Alexander Isak to Liverpool saga is getting absolutely insane. The match this past week at St. James Park was madness. The game was fantastic. So basically, Alexander Isak is probably the best striker in the world besides for one or two other guys. And yet, the team he plays for, Newcastle United, he hasn't played for yet this season. 2 matches in, we still haven't seen Alexander Isak in a Newcastle kit. And their new kit's pretty clean, I may add. Now, Newcastle is a really, really good team, and if Isak plays, they're challenging for top of the league. And we saw that this past week at their match against Liverpool at St. James Park, 2-2 going into extra time. 11 extra minutes, which is crazy because you can't really account for where those extra minutes were really coming from. And then the 16-year-old Rio Namoha from Chelsea Academy, I may add, scores a 10th minute out of 11 winner for Liverpool. And it's annoying, no doubt, but it happened. Liverpool won 3-2, and you can't help but wonder, would Newcastle have won if Alexander Isak, a player who's on their roster, had played? Now, of course, he's playing hardball with the club. He wants to go to Liverpool, and this has been known for a while. Since before the season started, he has been wanting to go to Liverpool FC, and he wants to compete for Champions League. He's 25. He'll be 26 next month, so his window is in the next 5 years of his prime to really get this done. So you can understand where he's coming from, but he's also screwing over his teammates and all of the fans by not playing for Newcastle. So it's a bit of a rock and hard place situation where I understand where Isak's coming from, but I also feel really bad for his teammates, his coach, the fans, who just all want to win. So it's frustrating. Now, where this all gets really complicated is Newcastle was willing to part ways with Isak if they could secure an elite striker replacement, and their target was Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt, and he went to Liverpool. Liverpool bought Hugo Ekitike for a lot of money, even though they wanted Isak as well, and that caused a chain reaction of Newcastle not selling Isak to them because not only do they need a replacement, but they're also probably like, what the hell, man? We wanted this guy. We were going to sell you our guy, and then you bought this guy. So it's very frustrating for Newcastle. I can see why they're playing hardball with Liverpool. And where this whole situation gets really sticky is Hugo Ekitike has been magnificent for Liverpool. 2 goals, 1 assist in 2 matches. He's been fantastic. He's been incredible, and he's been the best player wearing red. So this is where it gets really complicated because if Liverpool does succeed in acquiring Alexander Isak, well, are they going to play 2 strikers up front, or are they going to push Ekitike to the bench and then interchange them? I know Isak isn't going to Liverpool to ride the bench, but Ekitike's form has been so incredible, and he's such a similar player to Alexander Isak, it kind of doesn't make sense to sign Isak at this point. So Liverpool is in a really sticky situation where if they splash and spend the 150 million that Newcastle's asking for, well, they're just getting a slightly better version of the player they already have, who's been doing an incredible job for them and is younger, I may add. And it's all kind of hilarious, to be honest, because it's the type of situation that you can't fabricate. This is ridiculous. This is absurd. The t-shirts that were being sold outside of the stadium this past week were hilarious. Everyone's saying, screw Isak, essentially. But what's really funny is if Isak said, you know what, I'll play for Newcastle, and he comes back, he scores, they win, Newcastle fans, for the most part, are going to forgive and forget. But this is a really sticky situation for pretty much every party, because if Newcastle does sell Isak, yes, they're making an astronomical amount of money, but they don't have a legitimate number 9. They don't have anybody else. They were playing Anthony Gordon as their center forward, and he did a decent enough job, but he's not a true number 9. He's a winger, and they need a legitimate number 9 if they're going to compete for a top 4 spot and for trophies. So what are they going to do? And if Liverpool does get Isak, what are they going to do? Are they going to play two up top, change their formation? Because they are so heavy in the midfield position with talent. They have Curtis Jones, they have Soboslai, they have McAllister, they have Gravenberch. They have some really talented midfielders. And then, of course, their wingers. They play Gakpo, Salah. They have Wirtz at attacking, kind of like a second striker, attacking midfielder position. So they're going to have to drastically change their formation if they do acquire Isak, or they're going to have to bench Ekitike, which he's been so incredible. That's really insane to think about. The most informed number 9 in the EPL thus far is going to get benched. So it's a lot of craziness. Liverpool should have just let Newcastle sign Ekitike. Then they could have gotten Isak smoothly, and none of this would have been an issue. But here we are, and it is pure entertainment, and I love the EPL for this reason. It is soap opera in reality. It is fantastic, and I love these situations because they're juicy. It's dramatic, and I'm excited to see how this all resolves itself. I hope Liverpool absolutely sabotages themselves and makes the wrong decision here, which I'm not sure what the wrong decision would be. Feels like probably spending all that money to get Isak just to bench Ekitike, that might be the wrong decision. Or not getting Isak, who's arguably a top 3 striker in the world, is also the wrong decision. So very dramatic stuff. I'm curious to see how it all resolves itself. What do you guys think about this transfer saga with Isak? If you're a Liverpool supporter, do you want Isak still? Do you want a 2-striker formation? Do you want Ekitike to go to the bench? What do you think is the best situation here for Newcastle and for Liverpool? I'm curious to hear what you think. If you love soccer, if you love football, subscribe to this channel. I promise to keep pumping out great content. Stay tuned.